Why do some of the smartest people you know struggle the most with money? They understand interest rates. They can explain investment strategies. They have read the books. They know what they should be doing. And yet, month after month, the money disappears. If knowledge were enough, smart people would all be wealthy. But they are not. And the reason is uncomfortable. Welcome back to Gentle Wisdom. Today I want to tell you why intelligence alone is not enough when it comes to money, why being smart can actually make financial problems worse, and the one thing that matters more than knowledge. So slow down. Listen carefully. And let's begin. Lesson 1. Smart people are better at rationalizing bad decisions. Here is the first uncomfortable truth. The smarter you are, the better you are at justifying your worst decisions. This is not a compliment. It is a warning. When an average person makes a bad financial decision, they often know it immediately. That was probably a mistake. I should not have done that. When a smart person makes the same bad decision, something different happens. Their intelligence goes to work. It builds a case. It finds reasons. It constructs an argument for why the decision was actually reasonable. I bought this because it was an investment in my productivity. I spent this because I deserved it after working so hard. I did not save this month because the market conditions were not right. Every excuse sounds intelligent. Every rationalization has logic behind it. And the behavior continues, justified and unchallenged. Brianna Wiest, in her book *The describes this pattern clearly. The biggest obstacle most people face is not their circumstances. It is their own mind. And the smarter the mind, the more sophisticated the obstacle it creates. Remember this. The ability to justify a decision is not the same as the decision being right. Intelligence can serve your growth or your avoidance. You choose which. Lesson 2. Knowledge without behavior change is just entertainment. Here is the second truth. Most people who read financial books, watch financial content, and understand financial principles do not change their behavior. Not because the information is wrong. Because information alone does not change behavior. Emotion does. Habit does. Identity does. A person can know that daily coffee purchases add up over a year. They can calculate exactly how much. They can understand the opportunity cost. And they can still buy the coffee every morning without a second thought. Because the behavior is not driven by knowledge. It is driven by habit, emotion, and identity. There was a learner named Alex. He was highly educated. He had read 3 books on personal finance. He understood compound interest. He could explain the difference between assets and liabilities. But every time he received a salary, the money was gone within 2 weeks. Not on investments. Not on savings. On things that felt good in the moment. He knew what to do. He simply was not doing it. The knowledge was not the problem. The gap between knowing and doing was. Here is what works. Stop consuming more financial information. Start observing your actual financial behavior. Where does your money actually go? Not where you think it goes. Where it actually goes. Lesson 3. Self-awareness is worth more than any financial strategy. Here is the third truth. The most valuable financial skill is not investment knowledge. It is self-awareness. Self-awareness means seeing your own patterns clearly. Seeing when you spend emotionally. Seeing when you rationalize rather than decide. Seeing the gap between what you believe about yourself and what you actually do. Most people never develop this skill because it is uncomfortable, because it requires looking at things you would rather not see. But without it, no financial strategy will work. You will read the book, understand the principle, and then do the opposite when the moment arrives. Because the moment arrives with emotion, habit, and identity already in place. And information cannot compete with those forces. There was a woman named Sarah. Every time she felt stressed at work, she spent money. Not large amounts, small ones. A new book, a new item of clothing, a meal at a restaurant she did not need. She did not see this pattern for 2 years. Because she was intelligent enough to always find a good reason for each purchase. She deserved a treat. The item was on sale. She had worked hard. Then she started writing down every purchase for 1 month. Not to judge herself, just to see. The pattern was undeniable. Stress. Purchase. Brief relief. Repeat. Once she saw it clearly, she could work with it, not by eliminating stress, by choosing a different response to it. Self-awareness did not solve the problem immediately, but it made the problem visible. And a visible problem can be changed. An invisible one cannot. Start here. For the next 2 weeks, write down every purchase you make. Note how you were feeling when you made it. Look for the pattern. Not to judge yourself. To see yourself clearly. Lesson 4: The mountain is you. Here is the final truth. The reason smart people stay broke is not the economy. It is not bad luck. It is not lack of information. It is that the biggest obstacle to financial growth is internal. It is the patterns of thinking and behavior that feel completely normal because they have been practiced for years. Intelligence does not automatically overcome these patterns. In some cases, it reinforces them by making the justifications more convincing, by making the rationalizations more sophisticated. The path forward is not more knowledge. It is more honesty, more self-observation, more willingness to see your own patterns without defending them. You already know more than enough to begin building financial health. The question is whether you are willing to watch yourself honestly enough to see what is stopping you. Intelligence without self-awareness is not an advantage. It is a trap. But self-awareness is a skill, and skills can be built. Today, ask yourself one honest question. What do I know I should be doing with money that I am not doing? And why not? The answer to that question is worth more than any financial book. Train your mind and keep becoming.